Rodriguez Corporation issues 20,000 shares of its common stock for $180,000 cash on February 20th. Prepare journal entries to record this event under each of the following separate situations. So in the first situation, the stock has a $3 par value. So what does that mean? Well, excuse me. That means that $3 times 20,000, or in other words, 60,000 is going to be the dollar value of the common stock that we show in this journal entry. And then the rest is going to be issued from, or I should say, the journal entry is going to show a credit to paid-in capital in excess of par value. So of course we're going to show the $180,000 cash that we received. That would be the debit side. And then the credit side would be to common stock first. Again, we said 20,000 times $3 per share. And that is going to give us essentially the par value of the stock. And so the difference between those two would be the paid-in capital in excess of par value. And common stock just to show the class of stock there, and that one is done. Alright, so in this situation, obviously, number 2 there, no stated nor par value is given. So in this one, it's pretty easy because without a par value, we can't have any capital that is in excess of par value. So this is going to obviously show the same cash amount coming in, but the full amount is going to go into this common stock category. Excuse me. Alright, and then the last scenario, we've got a $6 stated value for these shares. So instead of a par value, we've got a stated value. And you'll see that the journal entry for this one is going to look a lot like this one, with the main difference, well, two main differences being, one, the dollar value is going to be double, so instead of 60,000, this number is going to be 120,000. But the only other difference besides that is instead of using the word par right there, we're going to use stated. So in other words, 1 and 3 look very similar here. So common stock, $6 instead of the $3, so this will be double the amount, 120,000. And then, like I said, instead of paid-in capital in excess of par, we're going to have paid-in capital in excess of stated value. Excuse me. All right. Next question. Prepare journal entries to record the following 4 separate issuances of stock. Corporation issued 4,000 shares of $5 par value common stock for $35,000 cash. So for that one, 4,000 times 5 is $20,000 in common stock value. And then that 15,000 difference between that will be paid in capital in excess of par. Just like that. And we got a corporation that issued 2,000 shares of no par common stock to its promoters in exchange for their efforts, estimated to be worth $40,000. Stock has a $1 per share stated value. Okay, so now instead of showing money coming in, because we're not getting any money for this, what did we get out of this? Well, we got some value, essentially. So this is, this is going to show up as an expense, long story short. And since we're using this terminology, promoters, this pretty much is the clue that this is going to be during the organizational phase of this company's existence. So these are going to be organization expenses. So let's see, that was $40,000, so that's the amount of organization expenses. Excuse me. So then we had 2,000 times the $1 per share stated value. So that would be 2,000 there. And the difference between those two, again, paid in capital in excess of stated value, because it's a stated value instead of a par value. And the difference there being, of course, the difference between this credit and that debit to balance this out. Again, number 3, I guess I shouldn't have read that fast, but since we're talking about promoters, these are essentially promoters of our stock. But in this case, we issued 2,000 shares, no par common stock. So basically, it's going to look a lot like this one, except instead of this third line, it's all going to go on the second line. So $40,000 organization expense, $40,000 common stock, no par value. Finally, a corporation issued 1,000 shares, $50 par value preferred stock for $60,000 cash. So it's going to be very similar, but of course we're not going to be talking about common stock. We're going to be talking about preferred stock. So we've got cash coming in at $60,000, and then 50 times 1,000 or $50,000 worth of preferred stock, and then paid in capital in excess of par, this time with preferred being the category, and that balances this out. Alright, last example I want to go over here, I think, maybe one more, let's see. Sudoku Company issued $7,000 or 7,000 shares of $7 par value common stock in exchange for land and a building. Land is valued at $45,000, building at $85,000. Compare the journal entry to record issuance of the stock in exchange for the land and building. Okay, so we're going to have a debit to the land account for this amount, debit to the building account for this amount. That makes up our debit side. That's going to function, the rest of it's going to function as if we added these two numbers together and called that cash. So we're still going to look at 7,000 times 7. That's going to give us $49,000 value here in the common stock. And then the difference between, what is that, 130,000 and 49,000 here, which would be what, 81? Going to be paid in capital in excess of par. In other words, if you're getting assets coming in instead of cash, just know how to value those, which we're given the values there, so that's not difficult. Plug them in as debits and treat the rest of it as if it were cash. The rest of the types of problems you'll see in this chapter have a lot to do with the ratios, which are mostly, I don't want to say they're not important, but it's more of a finance class topic, I think. So familiarize yourself with what they are, with how they tie into accounting, or how the components of them come from topics we're studying. But I won't spend too much class time going over how to plug numbers in and do the